Question 1. Consider the following frequency. 1a. Write down the mode. The mode occurs for the value with the highest frequency, which in this case is 10. So the mode is equal to 10. 1b. Find the value of the range. Well, the range is the maximum value minus the minimum value, which in this case is 11 minus 2, which is 9. 1c, find the mean. In order to find the mean, use your GDC and a spreadsheet. The mean is x bar, which is 7.15 to 36. X bar equals 7.15. 1d, find the variance. The variance is again found from the GDC, and on the GDC you find the standard deviation, which is 2.90, and square it. So the variance equals 2.90 squared, which is equal to 8.45 to 3 significant figures. Question 2. The following table shows data collected from an experiment. The data is also represented on the following scatter diagram. The relationship between x and y can be modelled by the regression line of y on x with equation y equals ax plus b, where a and b are any real number. 2a, write down the value of a and b. Again, do this using a GDC. Put your values into a spreadsheet and work out the regression line. As we can see from the GDC, a, which represents the gradient, is m, which is 0.433 to 3 significant figures, and b is 4.50 from 3 significant figures. So a is equal to 0.433, b is equal to 4.50. 2b, use the model to predict the value of y when x is 18. So put the value x equals 18 into the equation y equals 0.433x plus 4.50. So we get y is equal to 0.433 times 18 plus 4.50, which gives you the value of 12.3 to 3 significant figures. Part 2c, write down the value of the mean of x and the mean of y. Again, use your GDC. As you can see, the value of x bar is 15 and y bar is 11. So x bar equals 15, y bar equals 11. 2d, draw the line of best fit on the scatter diagram. Please remember that the line of best fit must pass through x bar, y bar. And then you can see the line of best fit passing through x bar, y bar. Question 3. Consider the expansion of x squared plus 2 divided by x to the power of 10. 3a, write down the number of terms in this expansion. The number of terms is always n plus 1, which in this case is 10 plus 1, which is 11. 3b, find the coefficient of x to the power of 8. So we're going to start with the binomial formula. N choose r, a to the n minus r, b to the r, where n is equal to 10, r is we don't know, we've got to find, A is equal to x squared, B is equal to 2x to the minus 1. Put those into the formula. We get 10 choose R is equal to x squared to the power of 10 minus R times 2x to the minus 1 to the power of R. And we know that that must equal some coefficient of x to the power of 8. Now compare the coefficient. So we get 20 minus 2r minus r is equal to 8. So 20 minus 3r is equal to 8. So r is equal to 4. Therefore, the coefficient is 10 choose 4 times 2 to the power of 4, which is equal to 210 times 16, which is equal to 3360. Question 4. A particle moves along a straight line so that its velocity v ms to the minus 1 after t seconds is given by the equation v in terms of t equals 1.4 to the power of t minus 2.7 for t between 0 and 5. 4a, find when the particle is at rest. The particle is at rest when the velocity is equal to 0. Therefore, 1.4 to the power of t minus 2.7 is equal to 0. In order to solve this, use your GDC and find the points of intersection. As you can see from the diagram, the point of intersection is when x is 2.95. So therefore, x equals 2.95. 4b, find the acceleration of the particle when t is equal to 2. Well, the acceleration in terms of t is equal to the velocity v dash in terms of t. So therefore, we want v dash 2. Use your GDC. The first thing you need to do is define your velocity function and then differentiate your velocity function when x is equal to 2. So therefore, the acceleration at 2 is equal to 0.659 to 3 significant figures. Part C. Find the total distance travelled by the particle. Again, use your GDC. The total distance travelled is the integral of the velocity function, its absolute value, because we want the total distance travelled, between the values x equals 0 and x equals 5. So that gives us a total distance of 5.3535. So total distance equals 5.35 meters. In this question, we have a 3-circle Venn diagram. So the first thing you need to do is draw your Venn diagram. Label it air, train, bus. As with any Venn diagram, always start from the middle. So we're told that 20 have travelled by all three. So that is 20. We're told that 35 travelled by train and bus, which is there. So that makes this 15. We're then told that 32 travel by air and bus, which is there. That means that this is 12. We're then told that 25 travel by air and train, which is there. So that makes this 5. We're then told that 122 travel by bus, so the whole of the bus must add up to 122. That makes this 75. 68 travel by train, so the whole of train must add up to 68. So that makes this 28. And 47 travel by plane, so the whole of the aeroplane must add up to 47, so that makes this 10. The whole Venn diagram should add up to 180. The 3 circles add up to 165, so outside is 15. 5b, find the number of people who in the last year had travelled by 1, bus only. Well, bus only is 75. 2, both airplane and bus, but not by train. That's 12. 3, at least 2 types of transport. Well, that's 15 plus 20 plus 12 plus 5, which adds up to 52. And none of the 3 types of transport, that's outside the Venn diagram, which is 15. 5c, a person is selected at random for those interviewed. Find the probability that the person had only used 1 type of transport in the last year. So that is 75 plus 28 plus 10, which is 113. Now the probability is 113 out of 180, which is 0.628, which is 62.8%. Given that the person had used only 1 type of transport in the last year, find the probability that the person had travelled by train. Well, we know that only 113 had travelled by 1 type of transport, and only 10 of those had travelled by plane, which is 8.85%. 2 straight fences meet at a point A, and a field lies between them. A horse is tied to a post at P by a rope of length R meters. Point D is on one fence and point E is on the other, such that PD equals PE, which equals PA, which equals A, and the angle DPE is theta in radians. This is shown in the following diagram. The length of the arc DE shown in the diagram is 28 meters. 6a, write down an expression for r in terms of theta. Well, we know that arc length is equal to r theta. Therefore, 28 is equal to r theta. Therefore, r is equal to 28 over theta. 6b, show that the area of the field that the horse can reach is 392 over theta squared times theta plus sine theta. Well, the area of the field is the area of the arc plus area of triangle. Well, the area of the arc is half r squared theta, plus the area of the triangle is a half r squared sine theta. The angle sine theta is equal to sine theta pi minus theta, which is equal to sine theta. Therefore, we get a half r squared theta plus sine theta. Substitute in for r, so therefore we get a half. Well, we know r squared is 28 over theta squared, theta plus sine theta. Multiply out, we get 392 over theta squared, theta plus sine theta. 6c, the area of the field that the horse can reach is 460 meters squared. Find the value of theta. In order to do this, we solve 392 over theta squared, theta plus sine theta equals 460. The way to do this is on your GDC. As you can see from your GDC, the value of theta is 1.44. So theta equals 1.44 radians. 6D, hence find the size of angle DAE. If we take a look at the diagram, we know that this angle is 180 minus theta. That means that this angle DAE is pi, which is 180, minus pi minus theta over 2, which is equal to pi over 2, which is equal to 1.44 divided by 2, which is equal to 0.720. A new fence is to be constructed between points B and C, which will enclose the field as shown in the diagram. Point C is due west of B, and AC is 800 meters. The bearing of B from A is 195. 6E, find the size of angle ABC. If we construct a right-angled triangle here, we know that the angle of B from A is 195. That makes this angle 15 degrees. It's a right-angled triangle, so it makes that angle 75. So that means the angle ABC, which is this angle here, is 180 minus 75, which is 105 degrees. 6F, find the length of new fence required. If we take a look at the diagram, let's write in the angles that we know. Well, we know that this angle is 105 degrees. We know that this is 0.72 radians. Therefore, we need to convert 0.72 radians into degrees. To convert to degrees, we multiply 0.72 times 180 over pi, which equals 41.3 degrees. Now we can use the sine rule, so we get BC over sine 41.3 is equal to 800 over sine 105. So BC equals 546 meters. 7a, write down the y-intercept of the graph y equals f of x. Well, the graph of f of x is 1/3 x cubed plus 3/4 x squared minus x minus 1. The y-intercept is when x equals 0. So if we put x equals 0 into there, we get the y-intercept is at 0 minus 1. 7b, sketch the graph of f of x. For x is between -3 and 3, and y is between -4 and 12. In order to do this, you use your GDC. Draw it on a GDC with that as your window, and copy the graph exactly. And there is the sketch of the graph. The function has one local maximum at x equals p and one local minimum at x equals q. 7c, determine the range for x between p and q. In this question, in other words, you're being asked to find the maximum, find the minimum, and say what the range is between them. Use your GDC, draw the graph, find the maximum and minimum. There is the graph drawn, and you can see that the maximum is at 1.33 and the minimum is at -1.27. So the range of values is x is between 1.33 and -1.27. Question 8. Two friends, Amelia and Bill, each set themselves a target of saving $20,000. They each have $9,000 to invest. Amelia invests her $9,000 in an account that offers an interest rate of 7% per annum, compounded annually. 8a. Find the value of Amelia's investment after 5 years to the nearest $100. In this question, use the financial solver. We know that n is equal to 5, the percentage rate is 7, the present value is 9,000, py is equal to 1, cy is equal to 1, and we want to find the future value. If you use your financial solver, you will get the answer 12,622.965. To the nearest $100, that is $12,600. 8b, determine the number of years required for Amelia's investment to reach the target. Again, use the financial solver. We know that the percentage rate is equal to 7. Present value is 9,000. We want the future value to be 20,000. Py is 1, cy is 1, and we are looking to find a number of years. If you use your financial solver, you'll get the answer 12 years. You see, Bill invests his 9,000 in an account that offers an interest rate of R% per annum, compounded monthly, where R is set to 2 decimal places. Find the minimum value of R needed for Bill to reach the target after 10 years. Again, use your financial solver. We know that the number of years is 10. We know that the present value is 9,000. We know that the future value is 20,000. Remember, one must be positive, one must be negative. You know that py is equal to 1, cy is equal to 12, and we are trying to find the interest rate. If you put that into your financial solver, you will get R is equal to 8.01170. So therefore, to 3 significant figures, R is equal to 8.01%. per annum. Just a note that CY is 12 because it is compounded monthly. D. A third friend, Chris, also wants to reach 20,000 target. He puts his money in a safe where he does not earn any interest. His system is to add more money to his safe each year. Each year he will add half the amount added in the previous year. Show that Chris will never reach the target if his initial deposit is $9,000. You need to recognize that this is a geometric sequence. So in the first year, he's going to add $9,000. And in the second year, he's going to add 9,000 times a half. In the third year, he's going to add 9,000 times a half times a half, etc., etc., etc. So R is 4,500 over 9,000, which is a half. So you want to find S to infinity and see if that will ever reach 20,000. You find S to infinity because R is less than 1. So S to infinity is equal to 9,000, which is U1, over 1 minus R, which is 1 minus 0.5, which when you work it out comes to 18,000. So the maximum amount he will ever have in his safe is $18,000. Find the amount Chris needs to deposit initially in order to reach the target after 5 years. Give your answer to the nearest dollar. Again, this is a geometric sequence, but now we have a time limit, and we want to find U1 when n is equal to 5. So we want to find S5, which is equal to U1, 1 minus 0.5 to the power of 5, all over 0.5, which when you work it out comes to $10,322.58, which is equal to $10,323 to the nearest dollar.